Emotionally unavailable behaviors are 99% of the time not about someone wanting to hurt you, but rather about their own fears of getting hurt. Because do you want to know what sounds really unappealing or like a really not great idea to someone who grew up with chaotic, emotionally unsafe, or unpredictable caregivers? Yeah, you guessed it, more unsafe relationships. So as much as people get sick of hearing that their present day relationship struggles are rooted in their upbringings, this is one of the most basic and undeniable realities you're going to have to face on your healing journey. Our childhood experiences, they truly set the stage for what we come to expect out of our adult relationships. So this is what we think is normal, acceptable, what we're willing to tolerate is really based in this template. And for many of us, if the norm was chaos, abuse, abandonment, rejection, emotional neglect, shall I go on, we start to believe that the only way to keep ourselves safe from these really scary things is to avoid relationships altogether. So we develop emotionally unavailable behaviors that look like things such as a push and pull dynamic. So cycling between being interested and invested, then overwhelmed and disengaged, often without warning. Being overly critical or picky about our potential partners, staying guarded and not letting anyone get too close, keeping the conversations mostly surface level or only about the other person to prevent having to open up or be vulnerable, picking fights or creating conflict, often without even realizing, but when we start to get too close or connected to someone, staying busy with other responsibilities to avoid dating or relationships, shutting down or withdrawing when the relationship or the conflict gets too difficult, keeping romantic relationships mostly about sex or just casual hangouts, and picking partners who are busy and have very limited time to spend with us. A dislike and also a disinterest for physical touch or affection can also be a sign of this fear of intimacy. But the thing is that in spite of all of these behaviors, at the end of the day, most emotionally unavailable people still do crave closeness and healthy connection. And the reality is that avoiding intimacy and connection is not actually getting us any closer to this goal. But also, being in dynamics that replicate the same chaotic, unsafe patterns is also not getting us closer to this goal. So, back to work we go on healing and addressing these fears of intimacy and connection and really working on our relationship reprogramming so that we can start becoming more emotionally available.